How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today in our How to Beat series we have Despia going against another pretty strong contender for, topping the meta. This deck won a YCS recently. It's really good, and we are of course talking about the Exosisters. Before we begin, make sure to leave a thumbs up on the video, subscribe if you're new, and of course if you enjoyed this series. So wait, 95% of you are not subscribed? Come on guys. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe if you are new for more awesome content. If you want 5% off any single or sealed product and want to support me and the channel, head over to tier0games.com and use code GALZO5 at checkout. What we're going to talk about here is how to interact with this deck. I just noticed that this has Japanese characters on the card. I don't know if this is just the image that they used, but that's cool. So we have some misplays on my side on this today. I did end up winning this, but I just want to show you how to interact with this deck, and of course the siding pattern that I use against this deck. Why is this important? Because this deck, there are two outputs to what this deck can do, or maybe actually three. One is Secret Village of the Spellcasters. This is really bad for us as branded players, even though you can get rid of their Spellcasters pretty easily. It still really hurts because the engine is run by spells. Two, Necro Valley, and I'm gonna just say it right there, this card is not a problem. Branded can play under Necro Valley with ease, especially if this is this deck. If you clear the board off of an Exosister board, they don't have a really good chance of recovering, and you will see that in our little, ward that top deck ward that we had. Third, this deck, in the best case scenario, no floodgates, no other traps, no stuff like that. The output is 3 banishes: Returnia, Michaelis, and Magnifica. 3 banishes. I think maybe 4 banishes if you Exceed Summon, if they Exceed Summon on their turn. So banishes are fine. They won't hurt this deck that much, and if they banish your Mirror Jade, then their board is wiped and they have to start over. And this deck, we know that this deck is bricky. This is why they played this. They just want to end up on Martha. So a little background. Let's let this play out. Here, I don't know what I'm playing against, obviously, but I do have the Branded Fusion in hand already. But I do want to start with the Lubellion just so I have additional resources. Magnamut, Branded Fusion. I am going to use the Tragedy here and go for a Lubellion instead, simply because I want to be a little conservative. Recently, when I encountered decks that just give me the big thumbs up, it's usually like Exosisters or Flunder. So I want to play conservative here. And I'm not going for my full board. I'm actually, because I have Cartesia, I do actually want to go into double Masquerade, and basically that's it. Because if I didn't get any interruption on the Lubellion and no interruption on the Branded Fusion, most likely this is what I'm going for. So this is actually what I decided to do. I'm going for a Lubellion, pitching the Tragedy, shuffling back these two for this, getting the Aluber, getting the Theater, and fusing these two for another Masquerade, setting the Beast because I have a Magnum in hand, and just passing. I want to be solid. I want to play against things like evenly matched, that if I go full board, I just lose everything. So in this case, this was my decision to play, and I think this was the correct one because it does put a lot of pressure. But I do get hit with the Dark Ruler, 1200 life points. This deck also, Exosisters also pay a lot of life points, so it's really important to just make sure you do that extra push on them. Necro Valley, if you have a Bystial monster in your hand, you always chain the Bystial to the activation. This is exactly what I do. Banish the Tragedy, and this is why I discarded it off earlier, so I can trigger this on my turn as well, on the next turn, which is my opponent's turn, not my turn. Get the Aluber for follow-up. I know that I'm not dead because of Dark Ruler, so I do want to just make sure that I have enough resources for the next turn. Caspitel, on the summon, I just immediately pop this. I don't want them to get an additional search. They already used the Martha, so I know they don't end on a Magnifica here, which is basically all that I need. Pop that. They do have a Pax. They pay another 8. Stella, summon Elise. They do have another in hand. Michaelis, banish the beast, which is very good because, and you might ask yourself here, why on earth didn't you pop the Necro Valley? I think allowing them to go for Magnifica would have probably been game for me. It's just a little bit too much to handle, and I can play around Necro Valley, as you will see very soon, especially when I have the theater already established and the Cartesian in hand. I don't need Branded Fusion. I don't need to banish stuff. I can play. Goes for 6, searches for Eternia, which is a card I hate, and Imperm. That's great. I already know that they have an Imperm, so I know everything. I'm playing against an open book. Set these two, Necro Valley, pass. Now my Masquerade is live. My other one, I cannot summon it because of Necro Valley, and I have a Fallen Valbaz, Cartesia, and the Aliber. So, what would you do here? Think about that for a minute. I know that they have an Imperm, right? I know that this is not live, and I know that they have Returnia. So, for me, what I want to do is actually get this Fallen Valbaz to the graveyard so I can summon the Cartesia. And this is what I do. I normal summon, and I force either the Imperm or the Returnia, which are both good for me. Because it means that they don't get additional pluses off of it, and they must negate this, otherwise they're losing their monster. So I get the Imperm, of course. Now, because I have the Fallen Valbaz on my field, I can actually go for a Cartesia, and now I know that they have the Returnia, and this is the last interruption that they have. So if I go Cartesia here, they have to activate the Returnia, and if I activate the Theater here, they also have to activate the Returnia. So I have actually 2 ways of getting to Mirror Jade here, or anything else that I would want to summon. And all they need to do is just like banish 1. So I think about that for a minute. And I definitely want to get rid of the Michaelis first. And why is that? Because I don't want them to use their monsters to exceed summon further and get more pluses. So I don't mind getting rid of these 2 and, you know, leaving them. Returnia does nothing, right? If this goes through, if this basically goes through, they are left on top deck mode, which is really, really good if you're going against Exosisters. So if this goes through, they're on top deck, no monster is on field. If they use Returnia, then I'm free to fusion summon. So it's a win-win for me. Returnia, they're banishing the Cartesia because I actually can't activate this in the battle phase, which is fine for me. I'm continuing with the attack. I have an Albaz and a Theater. They need to open specifically Martha. So Albaz, attack. They're already down to 3,600, which is not a lot. They have 2 more turns until they're dead. They draw Call by the Grave, which is funny. I actually didn't know this up until now because I haven't watched the replay. So here I want to go for damage and go for it quick because I know that these effects require life points. So I want to get them down as low as possible. So all I need to do is just tribute summon this. The reason why I did not special... Actually, Titanic Lead requires a monster with... Let's see. Maybe this was another misplay. Titanic Lad, a monster with 2,500 or more attack. So actually I could have gone for game here. Twice. So let me explain. I could have used the Theater, fuse these 2 together, go for game. Oh no, it wouldn't have been game. Because it would only have... This has 6 stars. So it will only gain 1,000 attack. So they will be left on 100 life points. So that's fine. See, this is why we do these kind of videos. Because I didn't notice that I have this freaking card on my field and didn't use it. So I bring them down to better have a monster, right? They have a monster. I just go again. Still not a misplay up until now. They still need a Martha. They got another monster. They set the Stella. And I draw this. So this is where I misplayed. Here, I know that this card does absolutely nothing because they didn't use it on anything. This doesn't plus them. And if it's an imperm, great. I don't really care. So again, I totally missed the theater here. If I just go for a Chimera here, I pop the monster, I draw, I attack for a game. I could go for, something like a Mud Dragon or a Garura just to get another body to get rid of this because I know all of their monsters have like really, really low stats. So I just missed that completely. I want to draw more. Again, I can fuse these two together. I just missed this completely. And they actually draw Martha. Imagine me losing this game. Which hopefully I do not. Martha, they go, they Xyz. They banish, they attack. They search for Eternia, and they're kind of back on top. So imagine, I could have won this game twice already, but I didn't. So, now, this is where I realized that I could have used this, and should have used this, actually. Let's see what I do here. I do this. So, I know that they have Eternia because they searched, and basically, the reason why I wanted to activate this is to bait the Eternia. Because I do want to make sure that Super Poly is live, possibly, for next turn. And I just wanted to bait this so I can get this Super Poly set on the field because I know I can survive another turn. So if I would have just set and passed, they just banished the set card and probably attack me for game. So this is why I baited this. I really hope they activated Eternia, and they did. Banished, set this, pass. They draw Mourner. Okay, I take in another one. They go for Zeus. That's so funny. And I have a branded opening. So, here, all that I need to do is get an Albert on the board with branded opening, activate the effect. I don't think there's a way where they let me have another card in hand and activate Zeus and get rid of their Necro Valley. And that would be the best point to activate Super Poly. I also don't know what this is. I guessed during the game that maybe it was an Imperm, but they have this, which is pretty equal to an Imperm. So I go for this, draw phase, activate the effect. Here, I know that they're going to do something. They're not going to let it go through. And they go for Mourner. I go chain 2 Serenir, or actually chain 3 Mourner. And this is perfect for me. I know that this is game. Activate the Super Poly to dodge. Take this. They can respond. Queritus. Game. So yeah, I think the second game isn't that exciting. I open the nuts. Okay, this is a very funny interaction. This is still like old format, so they are playing Mystic Mine because the rated system hasn't updated to the new ban list yet. But this is a very good siding pattern against Exosisters. They have a lot of back row, and what you really want to take care of is the back row. You can remove some Bystials, and yeah, regarding the last game, super important in my opinion to see where I got these things wrong and actually know this for your future games as well. Okay, they start. I'm feeling great about this. I'm like, if they have a judgment, that's great. They actually play around the Lightning Storm with the monsters, which is surprising to me because I was hoping for a Feather Duster Lightning Storm, but that wasn't the case, and that's absolutely fine. I see them going for the Magnifica line. They play this correctly in the defense. Set 3, Mystic Mine in hand. Judgment, Metaverse, Eternia. I draw Albaz, so I already know that this is game. I have Albaz Super Poly, a discard, these two to clean up, Branded Fusion. I win. So, Duster gets negated. Lightning Storm. They activate Metaverse, which of course was a misplay because this goes as well. I'm not sure that they knew that. I set a monster and I wait for them to respond because I have to, because they have a quick effect. They banish it. I'm definitely fine with that. I do waste the Super Poly just to get rid of this monster on the field. Just get rid of it as soon as possible. This monster is absolutely horrible. and I get a Mirror Jade. This effect still resolves and banishes my Mirror Jade. Branded Fusion. And I just go full combo here, basically. I get the Alba Lanitus because I don't want to get rid of my... I don't have discard for Lubellion. I don't want to get rid of my Albion to go banish. And they activated Judgment, so it's basically game right here. And I win the duel. So I do hope you enjoyed this inside of the mind of a branded player kind of series. I hope you do get to know the deck a little bit better and see how it performs. I really enjoyed making this video, so leave a comment down below what you thought. Which decks do you want to see? I'm still looking for that perfect Sprite game. So I heard your comments. I am looking for that, definitely. Yeah, leave a thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe if you're new, as always. I hope you learned something from my misplays. And I hope you learned something from my misplays. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace, guys.